3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another Detroit Pierce podcast. Sorry, I'm exhausted. You know what? No judgment. We've had a busy weekend. We've had the Kentucky Derby, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, F1, UFC, boxing, Tiger Stink, NFL. We're talking about the next year's schedule release. There's a lot happening, okay? So what? Oh, I'm a little tired. So what? At least I'm here. Welcome back. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the Lions, okay? Let's talk about the Detroit Lions because I think I talked a little bit with my dad about the Detroit Lions draft, but I think I would like to talk on a little bit. Look, if anybody sits around and looks at the NFL draft from the Detroit Lions and doesn't give us an A+, you're crazy. The value that they got in that trade with the Vikings, mathematically, let's not talk about Williams versus Klein. Let's talk about mathematics. All right? 1 + 1 = 2. Mathematics. The mathematics say that the Lions got the value that they needed. Is the draft pick as good as what we need? Is Williams, is he going to be ready for day one with the torn ACL? Honestly, that doesn't matter in my mind. Oh, don't you want to win football games next year? I don't know. Look, the 5-year span that he's going to have is better than anybody in that spot other than Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton's going to be an absolute superstar. He's going to win. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. But that doesn't matter. The Lions at every single picked for value, and here's the most important part. They didn't draft a quarterback. Matt Millen would have drafted Sam Howell at quarterback. He would have. Every single other generation of the Lions organization would have drafted Sam Howell at 2. And this one is different. Are we perfect? No. But are we better? Yes. That should give you hope. That's all you, like, here's the thing. I talked to all my friends who are Packer fans and Chiefs fans, and they're all like, oh, don't you want to win a Super Bowl? Oh, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not realistic. It's not. It's not realistic as a Lions fan to sit there and be like, we're going to win a Super Bowl. We're going to be Super Bowl champions. It's not realistic. That's not our future. We just want to make the playoffs. We just want to have a good team. And what we did in this draft was set ourselves up so that we can get somebody to have a good team in the future. That's all you need. And by the way, I looked at next year's NFL draft. I looked at the big board. And I'm not kidding you. I wrote a list down of quarterbacks that I think are better than everybody in this quarterback class. Are you ready? Because this is going to be a crazy long list. And I'm dead serious. I think all of these guys are better than every single quarterback in this draft. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Will Levis, Tyler Van Dyke, Spencer Rattler, DJ Ugalele. I said his last name wrong. Anthony Richardson, Cam Ward, Kendon Slovis, JT Daniels, Grayson McCall, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, clearly better than everybody in that draft. Emory Jones, Graham Mertz, who I hate, but Graham Mertz is a better NFL quarterback than everybody in this draft. Tua Tagovailoa's brother, Dylan Gabriel, and Casey Thompson. All of those quarterbacks that I just listed, all of them, every single one is better than Kenny Pickett, better than Malik Willis, better than Sam Howell. Every single quarterback I just listed is better than every quarterback in this draft. And by the way, I wouldn't mind 75% of those out of those quarterbacks that I just named. Obviously, I want CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, but out of that list, you could convince me to get Bo Nix. I love Bo Nix. You could convince me that he could be an NFL quarterback. You could convince me that Graham Mertz is an NFL quarterback. You can convince me that Anthony Richardson can make it work. Cam Ward's short, but you can convince me. Tyler Van Dyke, he had an okay year. You could convince me. All I'm saying is that the former Lions organization would have freaked out and drafted Willis, seen Malik, and they would have said, we have to get him at 2. They would have drafted him at 2 and ruined the future of this organization. Holmes, Campbell are different. This organization is different. And I think it's for the better. And that's all you can hang your hat on. It's all you can hang your hat on. All right. Now let's go into negative news. Let's talk about my Tigers. We suck. Call it. No, I'm tired of this. Call it like it is. Tigers suck. They do. They have the least amount of runs with the Royals in the MLB. They have less. Everybody's clowning on the Reds. Oh, the Reds suck. Oh, the Reds are so bad. We have less runs than they do. We have less runs than the Cincinnati Reds. The Cincinnati Reds have more runs than the Tigers. How is that possible? We were talking about making the playoffs and we can't score runs. We simply can't score. We've lost 6 runs. Shout out to my friend Eric, who sent me this stat. We've lost 6 runs on the bases this year. We can't hit. We can't run on the bases. We can't steal bases. We can't hit home runs. People were talking about us making the playoffs. We've got no chance. We can't score runs. On the flip side, yeah, okay, we can pitch, blah, 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 blah. We can't score. We can't score. I'm taking a seat. Yes, technically we are better than last year. Technically at this point we are better than last year. But look, I was so hopeful for this damn team. Javi Baez, Spencer Torkelson. It's just not there. And you can tell me, oh, Pierce, oh, Casey Mize is hurt, Matt Manning's hurt. Oh, blah, blah, we haven't had our bullpen. The pitching's there. The pitching's there from A to Z. The starting pitching's there. The relief pitching's there. We can't hit. It just sucks because that's our future. If we're gonna, the next 10 years is just us not being able to hit, and that sucks. I mean, that just sucks. I think in our future we're gonna be. I think at the end of the year we're gonna be a 500 team. It just right now it sucks. I mean to have less runs than the Reds. I mean they're talking about pooping in the back of a Toyota Tundra inside of the stadium. I mean the Reds hate themselves, and we can't score more runs than them. I mean that's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. Just whatever. You know what? If they're going to give up on me, I'll give up on them. That's not true. I'm still going to, I live here in Phoenix. If you're on YouTube, you see that I'm wearing a We Are Phoenix t-shirt. When they come here to Arizona in June, I'm still going to go to all 3 games. But damn. Just sucks. It just sucks. All right, I can't talk about the Tigers for too much. They just drive me crazy. And my dad calls. He's like, oh, the Tigers, I give up on them. Yeah, I do too. They gave up 2 runs today against the Astros. They gave up 2 runs today. And I've got the Suns and I've got the Wild and I got F1 on. I turned off the Tigers because they gave up 2 runs because I know they can't score 3. Hell, they didn't even score any today. What's the point? We scored 4 runs in 3 games against the Astros, and you expect to win a game? It's just terrible. Just terrible. Oh, my God. Just sucks. Just absolutely sucks. Whatever. All right, let's move on to something else. I'm tired of yelling. Red Wings and Pistons, the ladders are coming up, so I'll talk about their draft later. I'm doing some research about who I want in the NHL draft, and I've said it 100 times that the Pistons are building out to something that I like. They're building something just like the Lions. It's kind of funny that the Red Wings and the Tigers are kind of on the same path, but I feel like the Pistons and the Lions are kind of on the same line. I feel like the Pistons just need, while the Lions need 1 quarterback to take them to the next level, I feel like the Pistons need 1 max contract player or 1 rookie contract or 1 rookie to really explode with Cade Cunningham and with the roster they have. And then we're going to be taking that next step. So not much to talk about right now until the lottery hits, which is in a couple days. And the schedule for the NFL gets released this week. So moving on from Detroit sports, let's move across the pond, go to our European Minute. And that European Minute starts now. All right, I know F1 was in Miami, but it still counts as a European sport, so we're going to talk about F1. Pretty okay race today. Max Verstappen wins. Red Bull is starting to come back. Ferrari's letting them through the door. Interesting race. It's hard not to bet against Red Bull. It's hard not to bet against Max Verstappen. But Charles Leclerc, I love Charles. He's so beautiful. He's such a beautiful human being inside and out. I still got Charles winning, and I think Red Bull is going to pull out and win the Constructors. Chelsea gets sold. I'm a Chelsea guy. I'm happy that Chelsea got sold. We'll see. I don't know. It's too early to say that I like or hate the owner. You just can't tell right now. Real Madrid comes all the way back to beat Man City and goes to the Champions League final. Look, if you're a Man City fan, just give up on Champions League for the rest of your life. You're never going to win. So that leaves us with Madrid versus Liverpool in Champions League. Two classic clubs in Paris. Give me Liverpool to win the Champions League. And that has been your European Minute. And I know F1 was in America, but it still counts as European Minute. Sorry, it's a European sport, so it's in the European Minute. That just makes sense. All right, NBA playoffs, current thoughts. I'm a Suns guy. I'm here in Phoenix. I've got a Suns t-shirt on, and we're tied 2-2 against the Mavs. The Warriors look so good. They look so good. Here's my prediction. I bet I have a future that it was going to be the Suns versus Celtics in the NBA Finals. And this, that's my future, is that the Suns and Celtics both make it. I think my odds are plus 880. I can't remember off the top of my head. No, it's plus 1,000. It's plus 1,000 for the Celtics and the Suns to make the NBA Finals. Look, I think the winner of the Bucks-Celtics series goes on to the NBA Finals. I think the Heat are great. I like the Heat. I think and I've said 1,000 times, I like how the Heat have built their team. And I think the Heat are what I want the Pistons to be in like 2 or 3 years. But I just don't think they have the firepower to compete with the Celtics or the Bucks. And I definitely don't think the Sixers have the team chemistry to compete against the Celtics or the Bucks. So I think, in my personal opinion, winner of the Celtics-Bucks wins the East and goes on to the NBA Finals. Now, do the Suns just lost to the Mavs? It's 2-2. Am I worried? No. Am I worried about them making the NBA Finals? Yes. I think that the Warriors and the Suns either go 6 and the Warriors win, or go 7 and the Suns win. I think that that's going to be an all-time classic series where it's just going to be an absolute drag-out series that it's going to be fought for. And personally, I'm too close to the situation. I think the Suns can beat them in 7. I think they have so much firepower. I think they're so much more deep than the Warriors. I'm just very hopeful. Very hopeful for my Suns. Let's go on to the NHL playoffs. The one series that looks like granted, okay, peek behind the curtain. I bet on the Minnesota Wild to win the NHL Finals, to win the Stanley Cup Finals, at plus 1,700. So I'm a huge Wild guy. I don't miss a Wild game. But look, it's interesting. I think the NHL is so interesting because in NHL, every series except for the Avs series looks like an actual series, but it doesn't feel manufactured like the NBA. I feel like the NBA feels more manufactured. It feels like the refs kind of help out some teams to make it a little bit more even. In the NHL, it just feels like every series is so even. I mean, the Florida Panthers have looked so good all year long, and they're struggling against the Caps. Carolina's look all good all year long. They're struggling against Boston. The only team who is shown to be great at the beginning, throughout the season, and then actually dominate in the playoffs is the Avs. The Avs look like the best team, but after that, every series, I can't pick it. It's great. This is why the NHL has the best playoff series out of all four leagues. They have the best because it feels to me that it actually makes sense to have 8 in the West, 8 in the East, 7-game series, because it's always a fight every single round. It's why it's the best. Every single game matters so much more in the NHL than the NBA. I'm a Phoenix Suns fan, and I'm sitting here and we're 2-2, and I'm like, yeah, okay, we're 2-2, but we're still we're gonna win. But in the NHL, it's like I'm a Wild guy. And I'm watching and I'm like, God, I know we have 2 games at home, but the Blues look good. They got a good goalkeeper. Bennington looked good today. The NHL is just so much better. So for right now, I'm hoping that the Wild can win the Stanley Cup Finals. But damn, the Avs look good. They look so good. In my preseason, and before the tournament, I picked the Wild versus the Maple Leafs. And the Maple Leafs are coming into Tampa Bay, and I'm like, man, they're up 2-1. I'm feeling good. If they can win tonight, they're at 2-2. And they got dominated. NHL playoffs is just all over the place. It's hard sport to predict. Speaking about hard sports to predict, UFC was last night here in Phoenix. I looked at tickets. I really did. I really wanted to go to a UFC fight. I haven't been. It's one of the few sporting events I haven't been to. It's on my bucket list. But it's $300 for a nosebleed seat. It's hard. I can't go. Who was I rooting for? I was rooting for Rose. That was the worst fight in my whole entire life, and I wish I could rub my eyes out and get those 25 minutes back. And then Justin Gaethje versus Oliveira. Here's a peek behind the curtain for me when it comes to the UFC. I understand that wrestling is a big part of the sport of UFC, but I don't like it when they wrestle. I just want to see the guy beat up the other guy and punch and kick, and Michael Chandler kick him in the freaking face and the guy fall down. What do you want? Okay? It's hard when the guy chokes him out. I don't like Charles Oliveira because I don't like his fighting style. I wanted Justin Gaethje to win, but he didn't win because he can't wrestle. And Oliveira's as good as it gets when it wrestles. It sucks. It sucks. I'm going to put this poll out because I had to argue with my dad. Would you rather in a UFC fight, all right, let's say you actually get brave enough to get into the octagon. Would you rather get knocked out or choked out? Because there's a part of me that'd rather get knocked out. Like all of a sudden just the lights are out. That sucks, but hey, you don't really feel it until the next day. Choked out, you feel every single second of it. It's like, would you rather get shot in the head or, now I'm getting really dark. But would you rather? I don't know. For me, I'd rather get knocked out. But anyway, UFC sucks. It just sucks. It sucks when I just want the guy that punches really well to win. That's all I want. Okay? I don't want a wrestler. All right, last sport, Kentucky Derby this weekend. Oh, Canelo lost. Boxing. They need to fix their scoring. All right, Kentucky Derby thoughts. I had Epicenter. I have never picked a horse. Here's a fun fact about me. I have never picked a horse to win. I've never picked a horse. I've been living on God's green earth for 27 years. I've never picked a horse, and that horse was won. Epicenter, I'll never get a better opportunity. I'll never get a better opportunity than when Epicenter is just sitting right there. It'll never happen again in my life. I'm going to live another 27 years, and it'll never happen. Epicenter is in the absolute perfect spot. And he's just the biggest upset in the history of the Kentucky Derby happens. Just crazy. It's just crazy how that kind of stuff happens. Whatever. Not saying that I'm sad. I'm happy for the horse. I'm happy for the sport of horse racing because it's awesome. But man, I'll never have another opportunity like that in my life. All right, here are the final thoughts. All right, I know I'm in Phoenix. I know I'm rooting for the Suns. I got a Suns t-shirt on. It says "We Are Phoenix." I'm rooting for the Wild. But it's nothing like what it would be like if a Detroit team was in the playoffs. I want to use my final thought tonight for you to remind me that if Detroit ever makes the playoffs, any of the 4 teams, just appreciate it. I'd kill for. I just want one playoff team. I really would. Ugh. What I would do for just one playoff team. It'll happen. Just got to be patient. But I just want one freaking playoff team. Just one playoff team. It'll happen. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to another podcast. Please subscribe, do whatever you need to do. Thank you for listening. If you don't want to like or subscribe, I don't blame you. Don't care. I just appreciate you for listening. It makes my day so much when you listen, comment, text me, DM me. It makes my year. Trust me. Thank you so much. God bless, and go Detroit Sports.